A customer incorporates a burglary into an array of bizarre situations one encounters in food service. In an unintended moment, this woman seizes an opportunity by squeezing through the window. What starts with a cup and a drink swiftly escalates. She fearlessly climbs fully into the store to pilfer whatever she desires. Concealing her identity with her shirt pulled over her head, she feels confident until the very end. Her confidence wavers as she fumbles, dropping a box of foodstuff before hastily shoving it out the window. However, this setback proves temporary as she swiftly recovers, passing it to an accomplice waiting in the car, enabling their swift getaway. At times, confronting a problem directly becomes the only viable solution. This became evident when a group of individuals encountered a menacing clown wielding a baseball bat, obstructing the road and posing a threat. Instead of passively waiting to gauge the clown's intentions, they made a bold choice to drive directly at the assailant in an attempt to evade the perilous situation. Ordinarily, using a vehicle to strike individuals is not an advisable course of action, but with limited alternatives available when faced with a dangerous individual wielding a lethal weapon, it seemed the only viable recourse for escape. A tranquil scene unfolds as a man leisurely walks by a cozy home. Suddenly, the peaceful atmosphere shifts when the flowers begin to tremble. Two individuals rush outside just moments before the chaos erupts. The water in the pool spirals violently in a clockwise motion, drawing attention to the fence behind. Out of nowhere, their neighbor crashes through the fence like the Kool-Aid Man, plunging into the whirlpool. He absorbs a massive wave to the face before staggering out and fleeing across the yard. As the commotion subsides, half of the pool lies empty and the yard is completely inundated. During an ordinary dive at Brothers Island in Egypt, YouTuber M. Hakim and his crew encountered a stroke of extreme misfortune. Initially appearing like a typical shark encounter with no imminent danger, the situation swiftly turns dire. The shark begins circling one of the divers, prompting a sense of threat. Attempting to evade the predator, the man finds himself targeted as the shark makes a sudden move to bite his foot. Fortunately, the attempt fails, and the shark swims away nonchalantly. However, the diver grows increasingly concerned about their safety. A few moments later, the shark returns, targeting the same individual, this time aiming for his face. Desperate to fend off the relentless attacker, the man puts up a formidable fight. He delivers a forceful punch to the shark's face, successfully intimidating it away. This harrowing encounter emphasizes the importance of being prepared to defend oneself in life-threatening situations. It raises the question, if faced with such proximity to a shark, would you swim away or fight it off? The dancer, a smooth criminal you wouldn't want to dance with. Shared on the YouTube channel Kisa Weba, this chilling video is gaining traction in the Spanish-speaking YouTube community. Despite many attempts, I couldn't trace its original source, but according to this channel, this video sparked the emergence of the MYUU legend. Is this possibly the authentic MYUU? It seems plausible. If so, it's best to find a swift exit, moonwalking our way out of here. Interested in a game of hide-and-seek with the UK's most haunted house? The YouTube team TFG Bro embarked on an overnight adventure there, seeking each other out. As the night progresses, things take a frightening turn. One of the hunters encounters a terrifying figure, only to realize it's just a statue or doll, easing the tension momentarily.
This room here, this was the most haunted room in there. This was like the worst room of the whole place, wasn't it?
Meanwhile, Romel discovers a new hiding spot.
I need to find another hiding spot and just stay there. I'm still not hiding in that church place. That's scary as I haven't really utilised this room, actually. I'm trying to hide under this bed.
But an unexpected event unfolds as he settles in.
What the is that? Boys! Boys! We're f***ing leaving.
Why?
I was getting ready to hide underneath a freaking bed and the wardrobe moved.
With the situation becoming increasingly eerie, the game ceases to feel like a mere amusement. It's too unsettling to continue. Game over seems like the apt choice. Around noon on December 12, 2022, a man casually entered what seemed to be a grocery store. Shortly after, 3 boys entered, and instead of making a purchase, they seize the man and forcefully pull him into a laundromat within the building. Inside, they dragged him around, robbed him, and swiftly left him, abandoned. A campsite experiences a relatively tranquil moment until a bison saunters in, investigating potential food items. Initially, the individuals nearby maintain a composed demeanor. Unfortunately, the situation changes when the camera person unintentionally provokes the bison by walking behind it. This action prompts a brief charge, and the massive animal's mass and horns seemingly threatening. Facing a charge from such a hulking beast would undoubtedly be quite alarming. However, it's not always that a bison becomes aggressive when someone approaches. They can be placid creatures if treated with care and respect. This footage, recorded in Tartu, Estonia, and posted on YouTube in August of 2016, features 4 teenagers exploring an abandoned sauna constructed over a century ago in 1915, during Estonia's time under the Russian Empire. After serving its purpose for 80 years, the sauna was decommissioned in 1995, remaining abandoned for 23 years until its complete renovation in 2028 transformed into a functioning beauty salon as of the video's upload in 2023. Upon entering the dilapidated building, the visuals matched expectations for a structure abandoned for over 2 decades. Walls covered in extensive mold, heaters coated in rust, a hole-ridden floor, and overall unstable structure. During their exploration, the teens encountered unsettling messages scrawled on the walls, including an ominous one stating, "You can't hide," along with eerie stick figures drawn in other rooms. Initially, apart from the disturbing signs and some scattered personal belongings, there seemed to be no recent signs of habitation. However, around 20 minutes into their visit, one of the teens discovers a curtained door frame, prompting exploration.
ma kurat, siin on liiva, see on nii kahtlane. Küsige.
As they shine a flashlight into the room, a terrifying scream echoes from the shadows, prompting the 4 teenagers to flee in panic. Although the footage didn't capture the scream, it's presumed to be a homeless person caught off guard by unexpected visitors. Nonetheless, the experience was distressing for the explorers, even as a group. Following this incident in 2016, the boys decided never to return to the abandoned sauna. A disquieting video initially shared on TikTok by user Scared Episode sent chills across global viewers. Filmed in October 2023, the home security footage portrays a woman in a kitchen bearing unnaturally elongated arms and a hauntingly emaciated gray face. Accompanied by a narrative suggesting a young boy's unease with his mother's unusual behavior, the clip implies his discovery of her transformation into this eerie figure through their home CCTV system. The video swiftly garnered widespread attention, inciting speculation and wild theories among audiences. Some posit that the mother has been replaced by a skinwalker, a figure from folklore capable of imitating human forms, hinting at a sinister infiltration within the family's abode. As the video circulated widely, its enigmatic and unsettling nature captivated numerous viewers, sparking extensive online discussions. However, the footage's true origin soon came to light, unraveling a twist to the tale. It emerged that the unnerving footage was not a genuine occurrence, but a segment extracted from a relatively obscure Windows game titled Alternate Watch, released in May 2022 in its unfinished state, largely overlooked until its debut. Nonetheless, the game has since garnered a devoted following, with gamers streaming their experiences on platforms like Twitch. This incident underscores the delicate balance between reality and fiction in the digital era, where sophisticated game graphics can blur boundaries and captivate the imagination of a global audience. In 2007, Anne-Marie Linscott, a 49-year-old woman from Michigan, placed a freelance job advertisement on Craigslist. Though the ad has since been removed, the specifics aren't publicly accessible due to the sensitive nature of the case. 3 individuals who responded to the ad claimed it appeared to be for a freelance writing position. Alarmingly, upon responding to the ad, they received direct emails from Anne-Marie Linscott, revealing that she was actually seeking a contract killer. She offered $5,000 to anyone willing to eliminate Carol, a 56-year-old woman from California and the wife of a man named Dwayne, with whom Linscott was having an affair. According to police reports, Anne-Marie and Dwayne initially met in an online college course in 2005. They subsequently met in person the same year, initiating their affair when Dwayne visited Nevada for a conference. 2 years later, Anne-Marie visited Dwayne in California, after which she began plotting to relocate to the West Coast. It was during this time that she posted the murder-for-hire advertisement on Craigslist. Upon the candidate's reports to the police, investigators located Anne-Marie Linscott and arrested her for soliciting murder through the internet. Further investigation revealed that she had also placed explosive devices outside Carol's bedroom in California, which failed to detonate, leading to no charges. However, following the incident, Carol departed from her family and profession for 3 months, necessitating hospitalization due to stress. According to Linscott's friends and family, this wasn't the first instance of her obsessive behavior towards a romantic interest. In 1997, she became infatuated with a colleague who had to obtain a restraining order after she began stalking him. Linscott's attorney explained that she suffered from borderline personality disorder and severe attachment issues. Despite this, she received a 12.5-year prison sentence in 2009, which she recently completed, having been released from prison. This vigilant neighbor in Kentucky witnessed a shocking incident around 5:30 p.m. as a 6-year-old child rode her bike near her home. Out of nowhere, a stranger grabbed her and swiftly forced her into his car. Fortunately, a police body cam captured the moment the child was rescued from the kidnapper.
Stay right there. Stay right there.
Hello. It's okay. Come here.
The situation might have unfolded differently if not for the quick actions of the vigilant neighbor, Mr. Weatherford. He promptly got into his car and pursued the kidnapper, disregarding any potential weapons the kidnapper might have possessed. His swift action was crucial, and although he stopped upon seeing the police, he had gathered important evidence, a detailed description and a partial plate number for the car that aided the authorities in locating the kidnapper. The police sprang into action and in a matter of minutes spotted the car.
What's your exact location? Hands.
The girl was rescued and the 40-year-old kidnapper was taken into custody swiftly. This prompt resolution was thanks to the watchfulness of a neighbor. However, such harrowing situations could have been prevented if the child's parents had been more cautious. A 6-year-old child requires closer supervision to protect against such dangers and other potential risks. In 2017, on the Barbados Islands, a colossal humanoid figure strides across the landscape, its footsteps reverberating through the tropical night. This entity boasts 4 lengthy limbs and an enormous, densely foliaged upper body, either adorned in fur or enveloped in some form of plant growth, potentially leaves or mold. Emitting a resounding roar, it traverses the island, an imposing presence. If this isn't a computer-generated image, then what's being observed is undoubtedly a contemporary giant-like being, though unraveling its true origins may forever remain a mystery. This video displays a Tampa resident injecting a syringe filled with chemical opioids under the door of a neighboring family. Despite earlier noise complaints involving Zumming Lee, the family had no inkling that he would resort to such drastic actions. After several instances of illness, including the family's infant, the father installed a camera in a potted plant by their door. This camera footage ultimately captured Lee, a chemistry PhD student, administering hydrocodone and methane into the apartment. Lee now faces multiple charges, including several felonies tied to the incident. Fortunately, although many family members experienced symptoms, none suffered permanent injuries due to the chemical assault. Here's an enthralling tale from the realm of TikTok that might seem implausible. Picture this: you're heading to work when suddenly the police shut down an entire intersection. This is precisely what unfolded for TikTok user Roxana. With traffic at a standstill, she began recording, inquiring about the cause of the disruption. What ensued was pure pandemonium. Next to her car was a sizable truck and trailer, atop which stood a man evidently attempting to flee. Roxana realized that he was the source of the chaos and exclaimed, "It's because of him!" Barely catching her breath, she witnessed the man sprinting towards her vehicle. Startled, she cried out as he frantically tugged at her car door handle.
What the What the
Thankfully, her doors were locked. Swiftly, a police officer lunged at the suspect, bringing him down and handcuffing him before her eyes. Instead of panicking, Roxana's composed response was, "I'm going to be late for work."
I'm gonna be late for work! I'm gonna be late for work!
This nonchalant reaction left TikTok users astonished, sparking comments about her calm demeanor during such a frantic incident. The moral of the story: always lock your car doors. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, having it on camera might just serve as a perfect excuse for being late to your boss. This job advertisement was posted on Craigslist in 2011, seeking someone to oversee farmland and care for cows in southern Ohio in exchange for $300 per week. However, what seemed like an ordinary job posting turned out to be one of the decade's most infamous cases of criminal activity related to an ad. The advertisement sought a caretaker for a farm in southern Ohio, offering $300 a week and a 2-bedroom trailer, preferring an older single individual, though open to considering all. Relocation was required, emphasizing a clean record and trustworthiness. The job's description mentioned the farmland's use as a hunting preserve, its seclusion, and its scenic beauty, making it an ideal getaway for the right person. Several men responded to the ad and were interviewed by a man named Jack, accompanied by his 16-year-old nephew, Brogan Raffi. Candidates who reached the interviewing stage saw nothing suspicious about Jack and his nephew. They appeared to be regular farmers looking for someone to manage their land. However, one interviewee, Scott Davis, encountered a terrifying situation during his interview. After having breakfast with John and Brogan, he was taken to a remote, wooded area where Jack pointed a gun at him. Though the gun misfired, Scott was shot in the elbow. Despite his injury, he escaped, running through the woods for several hours before finding help. A tragic turn came when a woman named Deborah Bruce reported her twin brother, David Pauly, missing after responding to the same job ad. David, who drove from Virginia with hopes of restarting his life, was found dead along with another victim named Ralph Gager. Investigations revealed a pattern. Jack and Brogan targeted vulnerable middle-aged men, luring them with the prospect of a job before robbing and fatally shooting them. They aimed for individuals with limited family ties, hoping their disappearance would go unnoticed. Police traced the Craigslist ad to Joe Bice's home, implicating a tenant known as Dutch. Subsequently, Richard Beasley, using different identities, was identified as Dutch. He had fled and evaded detection by using various aliases, including those of his victims. Beasley's accomplice, Brogan Raffi, was apprehended, and a search of his residence revealed weapons and a disturbing poem describing a murder. Beasley was found guilty of multiple charges, including murder, robbery, and kidnapping, while Brogan was sentenced to life without parole. This deceptive job posting became one of Craigslist's most notorious lures, contributing to the site's dubious reputation in recent times. Passenger or flight attendant disruptions might occasionally be expected during a flight, but experiencing a pilot's meltdown would undoubtedly be the most alarming. Back in 2012, passengers found themselves in such a scenario when JetBlue's 49-year-old pilot, a 12-year veteran named Osborne, suddenly began to rant and rave mid-flight. On a journey from New York to Las Vegas, he emerged from the bathroom, urging passengers to say your prayers and making alarming statements about the plane going down. His ramblings escalated to include mentions of Iraq, Iran, 9/11, Sin City, and Jesus, all shouted incoherently from the cockpit. It startled his co-pilot, who was taken aback as Osborne delved into disjointed religious talk and nonsensical commentary about irrelevance. At one point, he even demanded pushing the throttle to its limit. Concerned, the co-pilot summoned another JetBlue pilot on board. Osborne attempted to disrupt the flight, even trying to access the cockpit, but the co-pilot had changed the security codes and called for ground assistance. Osborne's erratic behavior continued, running through the aisles and shouting nonsensical thoughts. Frightened passengers intervened, including a retired NYPD sergeant, trying to restrain and soothe him. Osborne, experiencing a mental breakdown, was taken to the hospital, charged with interfering with a flight crew, and suspended, potentially facing up to 20 years in prison. A rather harrowing day at work for all involved. The Halloween masked robber struck at a store on Middle Country Road in Coram, Long Island. Wearing a red Halloween mask and a green top, he strolled casually towards the cashier, holding a gun that made his demeanor all the more chilling. With the weapon in hand, he demanded cash, and the cashier, whose hand was the only one visible, complied, handing money in a bag over the counter. Though unseen, it's certain the cashier was petrified and likely trembling at the sight of the pistol. The masked robber swiftly took the cash and fled the scene. This cell phone video stands out as one of the most terrifying clips I've encountered, and I've seen my fair share of spine-chilling videos. The video captured a chilling incident involving 20-year-old India Mackey and her 18-year-old boyfriend, Kevin Dixon, as they engaged in a heated argument in his van parked near his residence in Warren, Detroit. The exact cause of the dispute remains unknown, but tensions escalated rapidly. The intensity heightened as Kevin was seen wiping a bullet and loading a handgun while stating, "You think I'm playing, huh? These big 45 hollow tips are gonna eat you up."
Playing, huh?
Okay.
You think I'm playing, huh? Hit you with this big 4-5 hollow tips, gonna eat you.
This alarming moment, captured on video by Mackey, signaled trouble, prompting her to start recording on her phone. Shortly after this recording, police found Kevin driving recklessly with Mackey's lifeless body still in the vehicle. According to the police, Mackey was discovered dead. Kevin claimed that she had been handling the gun, leading to an accidental discharge that killed her. However, the crucial detail emerged that India had initiated video recording on her phone moments before the fatal shooting occurred. On March 30th, 2014, inside a vehicle, a man accompanied by his daughter navigates a poorly lit road where visibility is extremely limited despite having headlights on. The driver's view extends only about 20 or 30 feet ahead. A few seconds into the recording, a car approaches the opposite direction, flashing its headlights, seemingly as a warning. Regrettably, the driver doesn't have sufficient time to react, leading to a grim sequence of events. While attempting to avoid a man standing in the middle of the road, the driver swerves, but struggles to regain control of the vehicle. In the heat of the moment, the car careens off the road and ends up in a ditch. Although the man seems to have his back turned to the vehicle at the time of the incident, there's no justification for standing in the middle of a dark road with passing cars. Considering his irrational behavior, it's possible he was under the influence or attempting self-harm. However, since the man fled the scene immediately, his true intentions remain a mystery. The driver and his daughter sustained minor injuries, and despite police efforts, the mysterious man was never found. In May of 2021, a series of powerful storms surged through West Virginia, bringing with them winds reaching speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. On May 26th, Amber Revas found herself driving along Route 51 in Jefferson County when a terrifying event unfolded. Her dashcam recorded the moment power lines collapsed onto the road. Reacting swiftly, Amber skillfully steered her vehicle off the road, narrowly avoiding a collision with the falling power lines. She later shared the video on Facebook, expressing her gratitude for those who stopped to assist her. Incidents like these pose multifaceted dangers. Beyond the risk of being crushed by the weight of falling power lines, there's the peril of electrocution. Should a live power line come in direct contact with a vehicle or even approach closely, the driver faces the possibility of a fatal electrocution. Additionally, there's the potential for the power line to ignite the car's fuel, potentially resulting in a fire or explosion. Fortunately, in Amber's case, the wires didn't come near enough to cause any harm to her vehicle, allowing her to drive away unscathed. The authorities were determined to halt the car's progress due to reports indicating that the person behind the wheel was suspected of being a drunk driver and allegedly operating a stolen vehicle. According to KCBS, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office initiated a pursuit of the suspect, tracing their route through the streets of Compton and onto the freeway. The helicopter monitoring the situation encountered difficulties in keeping pace with the car, especially as it navigated overpasses. As per the report, once the suspect drove under the 105 freeway overpass, they abandoned the vehicle and continued their escape on foot. Deputies were observed searching for the suspect using flashlights in the darkness, but no arrests were reported as of yet. Enormous waves prompted lifeguards in Ventura, California to urgently request surfers to exit the water. Meteorologists had predicted the arrival of massive waves between December 28th and the 30th, and their forecast was accurate. Several advisories issued by the National Weather Service led authorities to close beaches and advise people to steer clear of the coastline. Naturally, despite these warnings, not everyone heeded the advice. Video footage from the Ventura County Fire Department captured bystanders standing behind the parking lot wall as a wave crashed over, causing chaos and sending people running. Unfortunately, some of the individuals couldn't move fast enough and ended up needing hospitalization due to the force of the water. According to the reports, 8 people were sent to the hospital following this incident. A local resident, who was a former surfer, mentioned to the KCBS that she and others familiar with the area knew better than to venture into the waters during such conditions.
And we know better than to go out in the water. It is really big and supposedly getting bigger.
The waves, which were reported to be around 15 to 20 feet high, were anticipated to continue along the Southern California coastline, posing risks of flooding and potential property damage. The National Weather Service issued a warning about the substantial wave energy across the coastal waters, creating extremely perilous conditions at the beach that were expected to persist throughout the weekend. A fire erupted in a high-rise building in Edgewater, a frightening situation for the residents there. Some were even preparing to jump from their windows to escape the flames. During the incident, emergency crews were battling the fire and conducting rescues. 2 individuals were taken to the hospital. The smoke was so thick that people were scrambling to find safety. We have an image from a woman who was hanging out of a window, witnessed by others from a 4-story window. Rescuers reached her within minutes as she was on the verge of jumping from the 4th floor. Her arms were extended over the window ledge, which was an incredibly scary moment for her and those watching. Additionally, we have obtained video footage showing flames pouring out of the windows of the high-rise. The fire spread to the 7th floor, starting at the 6th floor and extending upwards. The situation is particularly challenging with intense smoke. There are 224 units in this building, and one tenant reported hearing firefighters evacuating people while the building filled with smoke. Unfortunately, the fire alarms were not functioning, and there were previous issues reported at this location.
And then all we heard was a firefighter banging on the door telling us to get out, the building's on fire. So I look at her and we grab our stuff. And when we opened the door, it was just filled with smoke. There were no fire alarms going off, and he was evacuating everybody out the building.
Fire officials are still at the scene, working to manage the situation. There are concerns about the fire alarms not working properly, and this building has a history of violations. At present, there are 49 fire companies and 155 firefighters on the scene, with 2 people transported to the hospital. Details about the cause of the fire and its extent remain unclear at this time. An eerie presence seems to haunt this military base, stirring speculation among paranormal investigators. YouTube team Staffordshire Paranormal Explorers shared a recording showcasing what they claimed to be supernatural occurrences during their investigation.
I don't believe that.
In the clip, the door is heard closing on its own, a spine-chilling sound that warrants attention. The unsettling nature of this phenomenon prompts the need for a deeper exploration of this supposedly haunted location. The potential discoveries in such an investigation remain unknown, leaving room for intrigue. The atmosphere at the campsite fell eerily silent when a bear was spotted approaching their location. Everyone held their breath, frozen in anticipation of the bear's next move. Initially calm, the situation quickly escalated as the bear came closer to the site. One of the bikers revved their bike, catching the bear's attention, and another followed suit, revving at a high level. Startled, the bear panicked and dashed back into the forest. But the bear wasn't finished yet. In a coordinated effort, all the bikers revved their engines, finally intimidating the animal enough to retreat completely into the woods. It's a scenario that often haunts many people's fears, and when it happens, the dread of drowning becomes a harrowing reality. A group of young individuals experienced firsthand what it's like to be trapped in a flooding elevator during a massive storm in Nebraska. It's surreal because you expect to see this only in movies, not in your daily life. Their decision to use the elevator amidst the flooding proved to be a grave mistake, as the confined space rapidly filled with water, leaving them with limited time before the space would run out of air. They found themselves immersed, struggling in the rising water, uncertain about their survival.
Honestly, I would say this is number one, the most scariest thing in my life. Yep, hands down.
Undoubtedly, it stands out as one of the most terrifying moments of their lives. Fortunately, they were eventually rescued, but not before experiencing the frantic desperation of reaching out for help, fully aware that their lives hung in the balance. One of them even pleaded, acknowledging that, if help didn't arrive, the situation could have turned fatal. This incident served as a stark reminder that sometimes it's safer to stay put in a secure location rather than venture out to investigate potentially dangerous situations. If you ever pondered what transpires when football players are stuck in an elevator, this video is for you. Zach Banner went live and showed what was happening. You would think, with the blazing temperatures, it'd be a hellhole. However, the team made this terrifying experience into a congested party and would eventually escape the situation alive.
It's the elevator ride. This the elevator ride. This the elevator ride. Someone just farted, and our top 2 suspects, Toa Lobanon, Jordan Austin, healthy, and that guy. My phone's on 2%. This is probably my last message. Telling us to get out. 500 pounds. And apparently the elevator guy had told us that Elevators can actually hold up to like 10,000 pounds or something like that, but they have that limit in the sensor, so it literally stops.
In this chilling video, a woman is walking but is unaware a train is coming. Luckily, she noticed at the last second and was able to evade the train. That girl needs to count her blessings. One more step and she would have been pudding. A dynamometer, often called a dyno, serves as a tool to gauge an engine's torque and RPM, providing the means to calculate the vehicle's horsepower using the formula. Horsepower equals torque multiplied by RPM divided by 5,252. Every year, truck enthusiasts gather at Ogden, Utah for an event challenging trucks to achieve the highest horsepower. During the September 20th, 2020 event, a driver named Sean, along with his truck named Master Shredder, had already exceeded 2,920 horsepower and 4,000 torque, but he aimed for more, pushing his engine to its limit. Unfortunately, this pursuit led to an unexpected fireball. Sean, lucky to escape with only minor injuries and bruises, witnessed his vehicle catch fire. Prompt action from the others prevented the fire from spreading across the event. The title for the most horsepower belongs to a colossal engine standing 44 feet tall and stretching 87 feet long. This engine, part of Emma Maersk's, one of the world's largest container ships, produces a staggering 17,390 horsepower, propelling the vessel at a top speed of around 25.5 knots or 29.3 miles per hour. The unnerving discovery of a locked hallway's cryptic jump scare might be one of those eerie finds best left unexplored. In this TikTok clip by Austin OG, the scene appears to be a locked gate, offering little at first glance. Yet, a chilling surprise emerges from the dim depths of the hallway, hurtling towards the camera, abruptly ending the video. Whatever it was remains unclear, leaving viewers with an unsettling mystery. Sometimes, it's wiser not to delve into locked hallways, avoiding potential surprises better left unencountered. This footage, captured in Chile on February 26, 2022, and later shared on Reddit, displays a concerning incident. The driver's dashcam records a white car ahead, acting suspiciously and braking excessively on the road leading to a tunnel. Keeping a safe distance, the driver with the dashcam notices the white car coming to a halt, marking the beginning of an intriguing turn of events. Suddenly, 4 individuals jump out of the white car and start sprinting towards the driver's vehicle, indicating a potential carjacking attempt. Sensing the danger, the driver reacts swiftly, accelerating to evade the attackers. The assailants narrowly avoid being struck as the driver collides with the white car, enabling a rapid getaway. What captivated many viewers was the driver's remarkable composure throughout the harrowing incident. His quick-witted response averted potential danger, suggesting prior experience in handling such situations. The uploader of the video shared additional context, mentioning the prevalence of such carjackings in Chile, particularly after 10 p.m. The driver's proactive approach is really what kept him unharmed. Unfortunately, there's limited information available about the fate of the carjackers post-incident. Christopher Brian Hill, known for his urban exploration on YouTube channel, Herc Hill, has spent a decade showcasing raw footage of abandoned and eerie locations, often facing perilous situations during his ventures. Urban explorers like Chris encounter various risks, from stray animals to hazardous structures, making abandoned site exploration far more perilous than it seems. While exploring at night and solo, Chris explored the abandoned Westinghouse electric factory in Cleveland, Ohio. Built over a century ago, originally comprising 7 buildings, most have since been demolished. The Westinghouse Company, established in 1886, arrived in Cleveland in 1984 and boasted notable engineers like Nikola Tesla and William Stanley. The factory, a former lightning equipment production site, lay abandoned since 1979, drawing curiosity from urban explorers and YouTubers, particularly after a scene from The Avengers was filmed there in 2012. Chris's exploration, recorded in June 2022, starts calmly, but eerie sounds, like distant gunshots, unsettle the atmosphere. Cleveland's ranking among the most dangerous U.S. cities added to the tension.
That's Cleveland. Wow. That's crazy. It's not even that far away from here. Oh, that sounds like a shootout.
Chris's experience includes encounters with recent signs of inhabitation, like a mattress, hinting at someone's presence. He ascends through the building, capturing only the echo of his footsteps.
Okay, I'm hearing something. Maybe it's an animal. This animal's down here.
The basement exploration intensifies as Chris encounters dead ends, eerie noises, and a few shell casings, hinting at a handgun presence. The video reveals alarming graffiti messages. However, the most unsettling moment occurs when Chris encounters a hunched figure, attempting to offer help but receives no response.
This is so wet. Oh, this kid got me. Yo. You need some help, bro? Yo. He's not even responding. I'm gonna leave him alone. Get the f out of his way. Bro, that's crazy.
Later, Chris decides to assist the man, but upon returning, the individual vanishes, sparking concerns about squatters or possibly dangerous individuals.
I'm gonna help that dude out. I'm gonna get this dude a $20 bill. Yo. Hey, I got some money for you. He's not there, and he's not responding.
The encounter becomes even more ominous as a bat appears, and Chris realizes he was being watched by the man he attempted to help, unseen by Chris at the time.
There's a lot of bats down here, too.
Chris finally decides to leave, hearing a cell phone vibrate, hinting at more individuals lurking nearby. Fortunately, he exits the site unharmed, though he never learns the identity or intentions of the mysterious figure. Consequently, no further videos of the Westinghouse factory were uploaded by Chris. In this Australian footage, we witnessed the remarkable grace and majesty of these immense creatures. Diver Jenny Bradshaw had a specific assignment to document and study great white shark sightings in Perth. After a few minutes of tracking, the animal emerged and displayed an action almost reminiscent of something seen only in movies. This day was filled with surprises for Jenny, who remains in awe of the incredible display of strength exhibited by these powerful sharks. Have you ever observed a kidnapping? Keep an eye on the woman carrying her child in her arms. Her 4-year-old daughter stands just a few feet away, seemingly safe. Unfortunately, the kidnapper was indifferent to this. They pushed the door open and swiftly grabbed the girl. Both the mother and another customer chased after the kidnapper, but the child broke free and ran back to her mother. These men entered a McDonald's, and from the footage, everything seemed typical. The CCTV captures them laughing and joking around inside the restaurant after a recent assault on a local teenager. Following the attack, they proceed to McDonald's as if they hadn't just been involved in a violent crime. The ease with which they carry on is unsettling, as if the severity of their actions doesn't fully register, or perhaps because it's an everyday event for them, abandoning their victim as abruptly as they had shown in the first place. In Florida, USA, a CCTV camera captured a thief breaking into a car and swiftly snatching an envelope before disappearing into the shadows from where they emerged. The thief adeptly entered the car and retrieved the envelope from the glove compartment within a mere 30 seconds. Speculation arises about the contents of the envelope, as the owner had recently withdrawn $14,000 in cash from a nearby bank, all of which was stored in that envelope taken by the thief.
That guy used like a punch device to use in the corner of the car, and then all the glass shattered and then broke it.
The victim says the thief used a punching device to break the car window, swiftly grabbing the cash-filled envelope. This suggests that the victim was specifically targeted. Otherwise, how would he know the envelope was there? The thief drives away in a Land Rover, skillfully evading the cameras to prevent his license plate from being captured. Is he conscious of the camera? You wonder as the video rolls. He strides closer, fiddling with something around his neck, a casual saunter towards the surveillance camera. Just before vanishing from the frame, he pauses, almost as though acknowledging the camera's presence. Moments later, he's revealed as a carjacker, swiftly stealing the car displayed on screen, coercing the original owners out and speeding off. Observing the vehicle's owner stepping out and walking to the car's front seems orchestrated, almost as if it was directed by someone else. The carjacker likely wielded a weapon, instilling fear in the others. Witness the woman's terror as they're compelled out of the vehicle, fleeing in haste, seemingly chased by some unseen dread, seeking distance. I wonder if they recovered the car, but above all, I hope the women aren't left traumatized by that harrowing experience. In July 2018, in the following footage captured from a security camera at a bustling cafe in Paris, we witness a brief yet concerning incident. The clip features student Maria Glare crossing a street, encountering a man heading in the opposite direction. As they pass each other, however, they briefly exchange glances before continuing in their respective paths. Unexpectedly, the man stops, altering his course, and approaches Marie, just out of the camera's view. He appears visibly agitated, gesturing accusingly at her. As Marie re-enters the camera frame, her head abruptly jerks to the side, indicating she received a blow to the face. Cafe patrons react with shock. One individual stands up, seemingly preparing to act aggressively, but refrains, engaging in a brief conversation with the assailant before walking away. Although the footage lacks audio, a description details that the man made inappropriate remarks towards Marie, in which she responded in a manner he evidently disliked. Following Marie's assault, 6 people stand up, 5 of whom move towards the aggressor. Yet no definitive action is taken. Disturbingly, the rest of the cafe's patrons remain seated, with 2 nearby women appearing to resume their conversations shortly after the incident. The swift occurrence likely left many in a state of shock, and the intervening post-assault could have been deemed assault itself as the aggressor was already departing. Marie is physically unharmed, but distressingly notes that such incidents are a daily occurrence, happening everywhere. In this video posted by The Guy with Cars, Matthew and some friends explored an infamously abandoned building in Utah. It seemed like a whole lot of nothing for a while. Just graffiti and food containers. However, that would all change when Matthew and his buddies got the scare of a lifetime. Keep watching because you don't want to miss this.
Give me a light. Oh, hello there. Hi. Okay. That's awkward. Yep, that's awkward.
Matthew still posts videos, so I think it's safe to say that he and his friends got out of there unharmed. Thank God. In this video, YouTuber Adventures Between Monster Adventures is exploring a grassy area which appears to be empty. But that changed in the blink of an eye when he encountered a terrifying, mysterious figure. Watch this.
يا الله يا الله طب شو بيعمل هيك بصير في عيونه بيضوجن بزيادة يا الله عيونه بيضوجن راسي يا الله يا الله يا ابو عيونه شو بسوي شو هذا يا الله رمى عصايته معقول بدنا يا ابو عيونه يا الله يا رب.
The figure didn't seem to be fazed at all by the camera. Adventures still posts to this day, so it's a good thing the figure didn't have any cruel intentions in mind. During the Medusa Festival in Cullera, Valencia, strong winds wreak havoc. This renowned electronic music festival, held annually in Spain for 6 days, usually inundates fans with electronic music and overall enjoyment. However, tragedy struck in August 2022 when strong winds caused chaos at the event. The footage reveals the relentless buffeting of wind against everything within the venue, scattering debris and pulling trees in different directions. Tents strain against the force of the wind, while a metal display visibly shakes. The hot air exacerbates the danger, as these winds easily cause chaos and destruction. Sadly, a section of the stage collapsed, injuring some fans. The video shows a significant portion of the stage being blown across the Medusa grounds, a sight that would certainly evoke a sense of foreboding when considering the potential damage it could cause. In this TikTok video by Magnus Madsen 6, Madsen wants to prove his house is haunted. No one believed him, so he decided to record his room while he was asleep. What happened next is truly horrifying. Keep watching because you won't believe this. As you saw, an object of his mysteriously slides off his desk. You can tell this isn't edited by having a real time clock that shows the passing of time. Madsen said he'll post a follow-up video possibly, but let's hope he finds a home that isn't haunted. In this video posted by News Station April of 2021, the most horrifying experience happened to this Uber driver. He was driving an elderly woman home, and what happened next will shock you and potentially traumatize you. This is not for the faint of heart.
Well, an Uber driver in Florida says he was scratched, strangled, and bitten by his passenger. It happened last weekend when a woman asked him to get her mother home safely. News Nation's Christine McClarty spoke to the victim, who says he's now traumatized by what happened.
I'm just your Uber driver. I'm just your Uber driver.
The elderly woman's daughter called the Uber for her. She was asleep for most of the ride before waking up and viciously attacking the driver. She scratched him, bit him, and strangled him. The driver was understandably terrified and thought he was about to die. The woman was arrested and believed to be under the influence. There's no clear explanation as to why she did that, and those that know her claimed that that was not like her at all. Regardless of whether or not that's true, it's no excuse for what she did, and she needed to be put behind bars. The now former driver stated he no longer does Uber, and I don't blame him a bit. In this video by Mario Lara posted on September 13th, 2021, a woman is shuffling through a box before the unthinkable happens. The woman's leg is grabbed by something invisible, which drags her into the garage before she miraculously freed herself. Thank God she escaped, or who knows what would have happened. If you think that was scary, keep watching for our next pic that will leave you feeling disturbed. In this video by Caught on Tape, posted on December 28th of 2011, a construction worker was working on a house in the middle of the night before experiencing the scare of a lifetime. Take a look at this terrifying looking figure. The title of the video suggests it's an alien. Other than the bald head and glowing eyes, there's no distinctive features on this being. What do you think that thing is? In this video posted on June 1st of 2017, the dashcam captures the driver riding along a dark path on the Kerala highway in India. As they were driving, they experienced the most terrifying encounter of a lifetime. Keep watching because this is crazy. If you didn't notice, there was a mysterious figure that went out of view when the driver passed. What was that thing? And what was that lady doing on the road in the middle of the night? In this video posted by Chris Buell on March 9th, 2016, a toddler wakes up in the middle of the night and stands on the edge of his crib. This isn't normal for a toddler to have this level of coordination at that age. Many believe paranormal activity takes place. If you look closely, it looks like the toddler is leaning towards something invisible for support. The screams of terror are profoundly disturbing and are not for the faint of heart. I believe this was paranormal activity, and it's going to be hard to explain this being fake. In this video, posted by Scary and Mysterious Stuff, this CCTV footage caught something that will haunt and terrify you. Keep watching because you won't believe this. A mysterious figure with a skull face and a red robe emerged in the distance in the center of the camera, then moved around before eventually disappearing. What was that thing? Let me know what you think. Stay tuned for our next pic that will give you nightmares. In this video posted by Creepy Macaroni on December 2nd, 2019, a creature called a duende can be seen. The description says that the duende is similar to elves, gnomes, goblins, and dwarves, and that they are smaller people rarely seen in the eye of the public. Duendes are also believed to perversely invade homes at night. What do you think? Is the creature mischievous or just straight up evil? And do you think this is fake or real? Let me know. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button and turn on post bell notifications so you never miss an upload. In this video by Mad Mupp, posted on February 16th of 2012, Mad Mupp wrote in the intro, and I quote, "This is actual unedited security camera footage recorded by myself using my phone." End quote. The gate in this footage is padlocked. The padlock was locked firmly according to the uploader. The footage captured the gate being shaken roughly, followed by the padlock being turned and then the gate magically opened. You see there's clearly no one in the vicinity, which begs the question, is this warehouse haunted? I don't see how you could fake this. In this video posted by Deranged Sajib, we find real footage of a jinn. If you don't know what a jinn is a supernatural creature that's not necessarily good or evil. The jinn in this video appears to lean towards the evil side. The creature was first seen sitting on the ground, apparently just reading something. Later in the video, the creature appears to have cast a spell. You just have to watch this because you won't believe what happens next. Rocks came crashing down on the poor men. Towards the end, they get an up-close look at the creature, which had a long white beard, but no distinct features other than that. Stay tuned for our #1 pick that will shock you. In this video posted by Sabia L on January 11th, 2021, we find some eerie paranormal activity. The uploader is breathing heavily as she turns to face a strange noise. Keep watching because this is freaky.
What the fuck is that?
You see the door closed mysteriously, along with the fixtures swinging back and forth for no apparent reason. The door opened up again and the lights began to flicker on and off. Sabia mustered the courage to go into the kitchen, but no one was there, though some drawers and a cabinet door were open. She leaves the kitchen, then shortly hears a loud noise again, along with the lights going out. What happens next is downright terrifying, and you just have to see it to believe it. Keep watching. We all saw that shadowy figure that just cannot be explained. What was that? A ghost? Or what? Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends. Precise location of this recording is unknown, but it is suspected to have been shot in a hospital in Southeast Asia. The footage was prompted by some viewers that suggest she may be under the influence of a demonic possession. Conversely, others speculate that her behavior might be the result of a psychological breakdown, possibly stemming from the stress of having a loved one hospitalized. If anyone can provide a translation of what she's saying, we would greatly appreciate your comments below. The video commences recording a poorly illuminated road, presumably in response to something they spotted up ahead. Concealed in the shadows, a clown swiftly approaches the vehicle. The individuals inside the car only become aware of the clown's presence when it's just a few feet away from them, causing them to panic and the driver to hastily reverse and drive away.
Man, shit, fool.
Oh, whoa, what the fuck,
shit.
bro?
Hey, bitch, what the fuck?
Oh,
hey,
shit, go!
What the fuck? Hey, chill!
In a highly urbanized neighborhood, a bear unexpectedly ventures into the area. understandably filled with fear and panic.
What's up, buddy? He does not care. He's running. He's running.
The bear's hesitation is palpable, leading it to cross a road and head directly towards individuals attempting to distance themselves from it.
Fuck your traffic call.
Among these people is a couple seated on a bench, unaware of the approaching bear. They urgently need to make a quick escape. Thankfully, the bear's primary focus is on getting away from the human presence rather than posing a threat.
I want to be running away from it.
This incident certainly makes for an unusual Christmas night out. Upon hearing the desperate cries for help from a woman on the second floor of a Kentucky building, concerned neighbors immediately alert the local police. What the officers discover at the scene is deeply distressing and heart-wrenching. Upon arrival, the police encountered a situation where the ground floor of the building had been completely sealed off. Due to this blockade, the officers had to locate a ladder to gain access to the second floor through a window.
Is anybody else in there? He did what?
To their shock, they found a young woman with a dog collar tightly fastened around her neck and chained to the floor. This woman is identified as Jonah Wilson, who is 37 years old, and she had been in this distressing position for more than 5 hours before the officers arrived to rescue her. Jonah's boyfriend, Moses May, has since been arrested and faces charges of kidnapping, assault, and other offenses. This could be considered one of the most amusing break-ins ever caught on video. The intruder is dressed in a bunny costume as he unlawfully enters a laundromat, snatching nearly anything valuable he can lay his hands on. His actions are genuinely comical for the moment he sneaks into the laundromat to the point at which he successfully takes everything he desires and exits, using the same covert approach he used to enter. The entire incident is bound to elicit laughter from anyone who watches it. When you invest in a house, you're not only acquiring its physical structure, but also delving into its history and concealed mysteries. TikTok user Uncharted Beyond felt a compelling urge to explore the dusty crawl space beneath her staircase, unveiling a spine-chilling ancient lockbox.
And then under the stairs, I don't know why I was so compelled to look, but I found this. I have no idea what this is.
The box is significantly aged, heavily rusted, and shrouded in a century's worth of accumulated dust and grime. It remains affixed to the wall, offering scant details for identification.
It appears to be super old, and it's completely attached and has a latch.
Despite its eerie appearance, the house's age has led many commenters to speculate that it may have once served as a hiding place for alcohol. It's clearly an unexpected find beneath the stairs, but compared to some other discoveries on the list, it's probably less than terrifying. The perils of scuba diving become painfully evident when underwater panic ensues, as vividly depicted in this distressing video. The circumstances could have spiraled into a far graver scenario had there been no one present to provide assistance. Fortunately, she overcame the ordeal, though it was indeed a close encounter with death. Feel free to express your opinions in the comments section. After witnessing this, would you still be willing to take a plunge into scuba diving? As YouTuber Lewis Clark embarked on his journey to explore this deserted house, he likely had no anticipation of the startling discovery that awaited him.
Yo, stop, bro. No. On the floor, on the floor.
Ben, Harvey, and Lewis arrived at a hole in the floor, prompting questions about the intentions of this eerie stranger.
Is he buried under the floor? Don't tell me that's blood, bro. Where did he go? Wait. Yeah, it's a human, bro. I see feet.
Soon, they delve deeper into the investigation and stumble upon a body concealed beneath the floor. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, they make the crucial decision to involve the authorities.
Bro, he killed that person, I'm telling you.
He had you as well, then?
We need to get out of there. We need to call the police, though.
This proves to be a wise choice, as the individual they encountered appeared to be mentally unstable.
Go, have a look through, boys. Run! We need to get the police now. Right, he's after us.
If their suspicions about this person were accurate, it becomes imperative for them to vacate the premises before it's too late. At the time of the substantial landslide near the entrance, there were no tourists in the vicinity. The only individuals present were 2 security guards who had hastily fled for their safety. These guards initially observed small rocks falling from the hills, and given their familiarity with the landslide-prone region in India, they swiftly understood the impending danger. They made a quick escape just moments before the mountain collapsed, demolishing their guard post. According to the Geological Survey of India, 22 areas surrounding the Bakura Reservoir are susceptible to landslides. The survey revealed that unregulated hillside excavations in specific locations are contributing to the incidents in the region. Moreover, the reservoir has a history of contentious issues. It required submerging approximately 371 small villages to create, and even 50 years after its construction, some residents are still awaiting fair compensation. For instance, one individual's family contributed nearly 15 acres of land for the project, but has yet to receive the rightful compensation owed to them. The evidence of the supernatural in this case is unquestionable. The Chamos YouTube team confronts the ghostly apparition of a young girl in this chilling video. After they explore the forsaken house, they come face to face with inexplicable paranormal occurrences.
Cara, mexeu esse negócio aqui. Mano do céu. Peraí, cara, mexeu aquele negócio ali, já tem. Cara, mexeu aquele negócio ali, velho. Ó, alguma coisa aqui, algum barulho aqui, cara. Cara, tu tá vendo isso?
They bear witness to a series of unexplained movements during their investigation. Initially, one thing happens.
Meu Deus, cara. Mano do céu, velho. Cara, eu gravei isso, velho. Cara, mano.
Followed by another strange event.
Peraí. Olha ali, cara. Eu sabia, cara. Tá ouvindo barulho aqui, cara. Cara, vocês não vão acreditar, cara. Não, o que viu, velho? Esse carrinho ele mexeu sozinho, velho. Não fala, pô. Esse carrinho ele mexeu sozinho, velho.
However, what truly cements their belief in the presence of a ghost girl is the eerie moment when the entire mattress shifts.
Olha aí, cara. Eu falei, cara. Cara, mexeu mesmo, chefinho. Eu falei isso, cara.
I share in their conviction. If the eerie legend holds true, the wandering ghost girl likely requires assistance, and that assistance may involve her journey to the other side. The cacophony of blaring sirens, chaotic commotion, and the distressing cries of people in anguish provide a harrowing prelude to the sight of a building engulfed in flames. Every window and door in every section of the structure is ablaze. while paramedics tirelessly strive to resuscitate those rescued from the inferno. No one has any idea what happened. This tragic incident unfolds at Santika, one of Bangkok's premier nightclubs, on a bustling New Year's Eve with revelers dancing their hearts out. Suddenly, a massive blaze erupted from the front stage. Some attribute the fire to an electrical malfunction, while others speculate that it may have been sparked by fireworks brought in by the New Year's celebrants. The scene outside is one of anguish, with numerous victims receiving medical attention from paramedics, accompanied by the ceaseless wailing of sirens. In the background, the unrelenting fire defies all efforts to extinguish it. This video captures the rescue of a woman by a firefighter who raced to her aid, much like others who were saved from the flames. Regrettably, not everyone could be rescued. As the clip unfolds, the Santika building becomes more clearly visible, now entirely consumed by the raging flames. Fire erupts from the windows, and smoke billows into the night, offering a chilling glimpse of the sheer scale of the conflagration, an actual inferno devouring a building teeming with people. The extent of the casualties can only be surmised. Not all extraordinary fires are the result of intentional criminal actions. At times, they occur as consequences of unusual accidents. Consider the scenario where you're enjoying your lunch break and suddenly witness a local restaurant being struck by a freak bolt of lightning. The incident sets the building ablaze, sending a dense column of smoke billowing into the air. While the flames might not be as intense as those in the previous example, they undeniably possess significant destructive potential. Fortunately, it appears that the area has been evacuated, ensuring the safety of the people present. Nevertheless, this remains an unfavorable situation for everyone involved. At the previous year's Grammy Awards, singer Cardi B suddenly came to a halt during a conversation.
A little shaky, I don't know what's wrong with me. No, but it's good. No, it's good. You gonna be good. It's a good feeling.
At a peaceful Black Lives Matter demonstration, an observant black woman noticed a white woman engaging in spray painting and defacing a Starbucks establishment. The white woman was inscribing BLM and other movement-related slogans on the wall of the Starbucks.
This is not a black woman who's putting Black Lives Matter. I just want you to know that right, but y'all doing that for us and we ain't asked you to do that. Listen.
The black woman confronted her, expressing concern that such actions might lead people to falsely assume that the black person had vandalized the Starbucks, while in reality, the black protesters were peacefully demonstrating.
News come on, they gonna say we did that. We didn't do that. Stuff like this ain't right.
The white woman replied that she had received permission from another black individual to carry out these acts and departed in frustration.
Don't spray stuff on here when they gonna blame black people for this and black people didn't do it. There's a black person. But we did. If we wanted you to do it, we would have asked.
The black woman became deeply distressed, highlighting the issue that these acts of vandalism were causing harm to the overall movement. She stressed the fact that, due to these actions, law enforcement often resort to using pepper spray against the demonstrators, under the mistaken belief that the protesters have turned violent, when in fact, it's the non-black individuals responsible for the vandalism.
You got police officers coming to a peaceful protest spraying gas on us. We ain't even did nothing. Don't let the media fool you. When they see the vandalism on these places, know that it wasn't us.
Her objective was to prevent black protesters from being wrongly blamed for these acts, which didn't serve the movement's cause. The graffiti may contain BLM, but the woman who vandalized the property is in essence a significant part of the problem.
We don't need nobody to do nothing for us. That's why we out here doing it ourselves.
An extraordinary face-off unfolds as 7-year-old Huxley Penner encounters a black bear while riding a scooter. The bear approaches the young boy in broad daylight, heading straight towards him. Remarkably composed, Huxley maintains eye contact with the animal, unwavering until the bear halts in its tracks. The unfolding events remain unpredictable. Unexpectedly, Huxley's neighbor emerges, arms raised high, transforming into a real-life hero who bravely confronts the bear. A heart-stopping game of hide-and-seek ensues, as the neighbor fearlessly pursues the bear from behind a car until the animal is spooked and hastily retreats, averting a crisis. This hair-raising encounter took place in British Columbia, Canada, and we had the opportunity to speak with Huxley and his mother, Brittany.
We've had conversations about being aware. Hey, be aware of your surroundings. If there is a bear and you're not with an adult, be calm.
Wildlife experts emphasize the importance of remaining calm and appearing large and dominant when facing a bear. Kudos to Huxley and his neighbor for their exemplary response under pressure, allowing Huxley to continue his scooter adventure. This video begins with high-definition footage of a scuba diver enjoying the underwater scenery. However, the tranquility is disturbed when something menacing suddenly appears. The seasoned diver remains remarkably composed, seemingly untroubled by the approaching underwater predator. What happens next is truly astonishing. The shark swiftly bites a chunk from the man's arm before swiftly vanishing. Fortunately, the diver reportedly made a remarkable recovery after several months of hospitalization, sporting a rather impressive scar as a testament to his ordeal. In the Philippines, these enormous, slimy mollusks are pursued for their peculiar elephant tusk-like shells, which can fetch around $200 each. For years, scientists have discovered the vacant shells, but only recently were they able to obtain an actual specimen for further examination. When they finally opened the shell to inspect it closely, what emerged was quite surprising. A creature measuring 5 feet in length tumbled out of the shell, filling the room with a foul odor. This organism had been residing in a sulfur-rich mud pool, where it had been feeding on noxious bacteria for an extended period. The question remains, what other discoveries might researchers make at this location? Two friends are enjoying themselves at home when they capture something rather eerie on their camera. It appears that one of the friends is engaging in an online challenge while the other is recording the event, and what transpires shortly afterwards truly startles them both.
Right, do it again because I'm filming this now. No, go on. Right, yeah. How many you got left?
Only 2 left.
Right, well, yeah, just do it then.
Yeah, this is Louis Mendoza and drink as well. It's not always specialised. There's only 2, so.
It's fizzy, it should work. Working?
No.
You should go on, give it a bit. Give it a bit. What's it?
No. So
do. Look. What? Look. Look, let me out.
Pay close attention as they begin to hear an unusual rattling sound emanating from the adjacent room, and then the door swings wide open, followed by objects inexplicably tumbling on their own. We lack substantial information about the video, making it difficult to determine its authenticity, but one thing is evident: the genuine fear displayed by these two friends. Kathy captured something, whether it was paranormal or not. While conducting a demolition project in Brazil, construction workers stumbled upon the flattened remains of a 33-foot-long anaconda. To truly grasp the immense size of this snake, you can simply time how many seconds it takes for them to capture the entire length of the reptile on film. There isn't much additional information accessible with this incident, but then again, there's not much more information needed. This is an enormous snake that, given the chance, could effortlessly constrict your ribs until they fracture and make you its next meal. If your infant starts displaying unusual behaviors like this, it may be an indication of an uncommon occurrence. A woman has shared a disconcerting video captured by her Ring camera, depicting a strange incident that unfolded when her baby was alone in the house. While her baby was in another room, the woman started hearing footsteps emanating from the living room, and the baby appeared to be fixated on something or someone. Then a peculiar event occurred. what sounded like a child's voice could be heard coming from the living room. She was taken aback by this unexpected sound and initially attempted to dismiss it. However, the situation took a more disquieting turn when her back door's motion detector suddenly activated. This prompted her to realize that something was unquestionably amiss. Subsequently, she conducted a thorough search of her entire house, but found no one. The enigma lingers. Could it be that her baby could perceive something or someone beyond her own perception, or was it something else altogether? The mystery endures. Within this video, a remarkable incident gradually unfolds, leaving all its viewers spellbound. Paul White, a remarkable individual with a penchant for daring feats, takes center stage in this captivating narrative. Suddenly, a scene of fiery chaos erupts in the parking lot, and the bystanders are left in awe of what they witnessed. This particular scene quickly goes viral on social media, setting off a whirlwind of speculative discussions. Amidst the ensuing confusion, one social media user introduces the idea of a potential matrix glitch, setting off a chain reaction of fanatical concepts, such as alien invasions and spontaneous combustion. However, as is often the case, the truth lies within the realm of practicality. A comparable incident took place in Cleveland, Ohio, last year when usual mulch fires blazed through the east bank of the city. The resulting billows of smoke and flames created a sensation on the internet. What made this occurrence even more unusual was the fact that it engulfed bars and restaurants, which is quite rare in that area. The Cleveland Fire Department was quick to debunk various theories attempting to explain this spectacle. A small aircraft carrying 30 passengers and a crew of 4 touched down on the runway at Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia. Initially, it appeared to be a routine landing, but then an unexpected and disastrous turn of events unfolded. The plane deviated from its intended path on the runway, ultimately crashing through the reinforced fence. The cockpit sustained extensive damage, and both propellers were completely wrecked. Remarkably, only 2 passengers suffered minor injuries in the aftermath of the crash. Preliminary investigations have pointed to wind shear as the primary factor responsible for the aircraft's deviation from the runway. According to the initial reports, the Tanzanian pilot lost control of the plane due to the influence of the strong winds. This loss of control resulted in a rupture of the left main landing gear, which offers an explanation for the plane's sudden and violent veering to the left. Arguably, one of the most renowned TV hijackings is the Max Headroom incident, a sight many may have come across. In this particular occurrence, an individual clad in a suit, sunglasses, and notably, a Max Headroom mask, took center stage. Max Headroom was a fictional character, initially introduced as the world's first computer-generated TV presenter. This character made his debut in a movie before eventually securing his own television program. Back in the mid-80s, this mask was widely recognized by the majority of viewers. On November 22, 1987, during a sports segment on WGN-TV, an abrupt hijacking unfolded, and what appeared on screens across the city puzzled thousands of viewers.
McKinnon 14-0 Bears, then the defense, which hadn't put up a sack in 12 quarters, finally did.
The hijacking persisted for a mere 17 seconds before WGN's engineers regained control by swiftly switching to a backup frequency. Even at that moment, no one, not even the engineers, comprehended what had just transpired.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. Actually, the computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top with the Bears and tell you once again about the 30-10 victory they had over Detroit today out at Soldier Field. We'll show you from the top and show you again.
The video itself displayed the individual wearing the Max Headroom mask swaying erratically, while the background rotated from side to side, seemingly emulating the look of the actual Max Headroom show, which featured a similar background. Throughout the hijacking, a distorted buzzing sound accompanied the visual disruption. Nonetheless, on the same day, a few hours later, a different station, WTTW fell victim to a hijacking by the same group, and this time there was an audio component.
Forgotten with the old ones of your tribe. That is the only way to learn.
I'll get you a hot drink, miss.
I've done some dry clothing.
Because he's a freaking nerd. I think I'm better Chuck's worse than freaking buffoon. Oh, Jesus. That's the way. Your love is fading. I still see the X. Oh, my files. Oh, I just laid a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds. They're coming to get me.
The second incident extended for approximately 90 seconds, as there were no engineers on duty to swiftly switch to a backup frequency. The motive behind this interruption remains a mystery, as even with audio, it is challenging to establish a clear purpose. Some speculate that the individual was simply rambling and uttering nonsensical sentences off the top of their head. Nevertheless, others hold different views. The individual mentioned Chuck Swirly, a TV reporter employed by WGN.
I think I'm better than Chuck's worse than me.
And at one point, the man began humming the tune to Clutch Cargo, a cartoon aired on WGN, followed by the phrase, "I still see the axe," possibly referring to the last episode of Clutch Cargo on WGN, titled Big Axe.
I still see the X. Oh, I just laid a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds.
Moreover, the individual mentioned creating a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds, likely meaning World's Greatest Newspaper, or WGN, the first station to be hijacked. This suggests that the hijacking may have been motivated by a grievance against the station, or perhaps it was all nonsensical chatter. The FBI initiated an investigation immediately, confident in their ability to track down the culprit behind this interference.
The odds, I'd say, if a guy continues to involve himself, either sporadically or continuously, it's very great that we will determine who it is.
However, despite months, years, and now decades passing, the identity of the individual behind the Max Headroom mask remains elusive. What is certain is what can be gleaned from the video. It is evident that at least 3 individuals were involved, one wearing the mask, one operating the camera as seen from the slight shift in the camera's angle at one point, and one responsible for manipulating the rotating background, which ceased when they appeared in frame. It is also known that the video was not broadcasted live. Instead, it was pre-recorded, as evidenced by the visible cut in the video. To this day, the mystery of who hijacked the 2 TV stations remains unsolved, with no charges ever filed. You've likely heard about the tragic fate of John Jones. We previously discussed it on this channel many years ago, but in case you haven't, we'll conclude this video with a somber reminder of the potential dangers associated with cave exploration. At the age of 26, John Edwards Jones was in the prime of his life. He was married, had a 1-year-old daughter, and was pursuing medical studies in Virginia. In November 2009, John and his brother Josh made the decision to venture into Nutty Putty Cave, a challenging hydrothermal cave formation located just west of Utah Lake. They had been enthusiastic cavers and wished to relive their childhood adventures. They weren't alone in their endeavor. 9 friends and acquaintances joined them. The group embarked on the evening of November 24th, approximately an hour into their expedition. John, along with a few others, aimed to locate the Nutty Putty Cave formation known as the Birth Canal, a narrow passage that requires experienced cavers to crawl through with extreme caution. It had been many years since John had last ventured into the cave, and with his 6-foot-tall, 200-pound frame, he was no longer the small child who could easily squeeze into the cave with his father. Despite these challenges, John pressed forward, entering the tight opening head first, carefully inching along, using his hips, abdomen, and fingers. However, it quickly became evident that he was stuck. He had wedged himself so tightly that there was no room to turn around or retreat. He attempted to push forward, only worsening his predicament. He was trapped in a space that was barely 10 inches wide and 18 inches high. Josh was the first to discover John's predicament and tried to pull him out by grasping his legs. Regrettably, this made matters worse, and John slipped even further into the passage. His arms were now trapped beneath his chest, rendering him immobile. Being devout Mormons, all the brothers could do at this point was pray. Josh called for assistance, but because John was trapped 400 feet inside the cave and 100 feet beneath the surface, it took over an hour to transport rescue equipment down to that depth. The first rescuer to reach John was Susie Matola, who arrived just after midnight on November 25th. By this time, John had been stuck for 3.5 hours. All Susie could see was a pair of navy and black running shoes. Time was running out for John. The steep angle at which he was trapped placed enormous strain on his body, impeding his blood circulation and causing breathing difficulties. At one point, rescuers brought a two-way cable radio into the cave and lowered it to John so he could speak to his wife. Both were understandably distraught, but found solace in each other's words. Over the next 24 hours, more than 100 rescue workers attempted to free John, but every effort failed to dislodge him. They eventually resorted to using a system of pulleys and ropes. They secured John to a rope connected to a series of pulleys, and when everything was ready, they pulled with all their might, working in an 8-man synchronized effort. John experienced moments of intense pain, but he slowly began to ascend until he was finally at a height where he could make eye contact with one of the rescuers. They even engaged in a brief conversation. John was almost out when suddenly and without warning, one of the pulleys malfunctioned, detaching from its anchor point in the cave wall. The entire team was thrown backwards as the rope suddenly went slack. When the dust settled, the rescuers realized that John had slipped back into the crevice, seemingly even deeper than before. There was now no hope of rescue, and John's heart could no longer endure the stress of his downward position. Tragically, John was declared dead due to cardiac arrest shortly before midnight on the evening of November 25th, 2009. Rescuers had valiantly spent 27 hours trying to save him, and his family expressed their gratitude despite the heartbreaking outcome. Following John's passing, authorities permanently sealed Nutty Putty Cave, and his body remains inside to this day. A plaque in his memory was placed at the cave entrance, turning Nutty Putty Cave into a national memorial and John Edward Jones's final resting place. In 2016, filmmaker Isaac Halasama produced and directed a full-length feature film about John's life and the failed rescue attempt, titled The Last Descent. The film provides an accurate and harrowing glimpse into the ordeal that John endured and is highly recommended for viewing. Firefighters are ordinary individuals, which means that they can also be vulnerable to catching fire. Despite being equipped with all the necessary gear and training, they willingly face significant risks in the line of duty. In the following video, a fire breaks out in a commercial building. The firefighters make an effort to remove iron bars from the front window of the establishment, enabling unobstructed access for extinguishing the blaze. While cutting the bars, one of the firefighters' uniforms ignites. He attempts to extinguish the flames on his own by stomping around, but the fire persists. Another firefighter steps in, seizing the hose and spraying the burning colleague to douse the fire. This prompt action successfully extinguishes the flame, allowing the firefighter to resume his duties. The unwavering dedication of this firefighter is truly remarkable. Despite being engulfed in flames, he remains committed to staying on the scene and working diligently to combat the fire. Newly released surveillance footage has revealed a chilling gateway to Eli Villalobos, a 28-year-old murder suspect from a courthouse in Oregon. The video captures the moment when Villalobos freed himself from handcuffs and leg restraints just before he was about to stand trial on grave charges, including the second-degree murder in connection with the 2021 killing of 33-year-old Artemio Olvera. Following his escape, a frantic 2-hour manhunt unfolded as police tirelessly combed the area in search of Villalobos. Eventually, he was found concealed under a blanket within a closet in an apartment, thanks to an alert resident who reported suspicious activity involving an individual attempting to gain unauthorized access to a nearby unit. The authorities successfully apprehended Villalobos, returning him to custody. Subsequently, he faced even more legal repercussions as he was indicted on 2 additional counts of first-degree burglary, in addition to the charge of second-degree escape. This incident raised profound concerns and was deeply distressing for all those involved. This video begins as a hiker calmly going about his activities, typical of what hikers do. However, an unexpected and alarming incident occurs when the hiker notices something trailing him, causing him to come to an abrupt halt. The man is visibly shocked, but does his best to remain composed. Despite his voice wavering, he utters a few words.
Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Get out of here, bear. Get out of here, bear. Get out of here.
Subsequently, the bear suddenly bolts, and the man swiftly follows suit. The courage displayed by this individual is truly commendable. Daniel Charon was in disbelief when he returned home and realized it wasn't how he left it. They checked the surveillance footage and saw a man in a hoodie trying to get into their home through the front door, but it was locked. The man then tried the back door, and that was locked as well, so he used the rail to assist him to the balcony where he would kick the door down. Another camera shows the man walking down the stairs as the owner's dog was in disbelief of the situation. The man took a backpack full of valuables and left. Daniel recognized the man on the footage, stating he offered to rake his leaves, but he was actually casing the joint. Perhaps an alarm system would have helped, but a very unfortunate situation for Daniel in any case. This next clip involves yet another Daniel who was filming a fire on his farm in Oklahoma. He was filming for his channels. He captured the fire quite well and was doing some commentary before he inadvertently captured something crazy. It's hard to notice till we zoom in, but you can see someone running in the background. Here it is again. What is that thing? Daniel didn't notice until a friend texted him asking if it was Sasquatch in his video. Daniel was shocked when he went back to view the video and see the mysterious creature. Who or what would run through a fire like that? Let me know what you think of this. Big fires are terrifying in any situation, especially when you're inside a store with an ongoing fire. What's most horrifying about this is the lack of response and evacuation. For what felt like an eternity, no one was doing anything about the fire as it got bigger and bigger. After a while, an employee emerges with a fire extinguisher and finally puts the fire out. Employee of the month, wouldn't you say? In this video, CCTV captures a woman and a man shopping at their local convenience store. They went to the checkout and the woman appeared to be upset with the cashier. Bizarrely, she had him spin around before leaving. The woman in this footage was Joanne Dene, known for the Peterborough ditch murders, including 3 men who she dumped into ditches after stabbing them. She murdered her partner, friend, and housemate, who we can assume was the man beside her here. Just the thought of one of us having a regular interaction with someone who's a killer is horrifying. 23rd of 2019, Cyclone Fani, a Category 5 hurricane, made landfall in Odessa, being the most powerful storm to hit the state since 1999. Take a look. The wind is so strong that it phases through an office building and blows the windows out. It also flipped the roof off of an apartment complex, along with some cars. The hurricane did $8.1 billion in damages, making it the second most costly disaster at the time recorded in the Indian Ocean. Some of you may remember this throwback clip of a couple runners in the woods at 7:30 a.m. They can be heard discussing the sighting of a clown. Moments later, the men see the clown walking across the bridge before confronting him. Without hesitation, the clown chased the men before the video abruptly ended.
I swear to God, man. We just saw a clown, and I'm sort of freaking out about it. What the What the What the Yo, what the are you doing, man? It's 7:30 in the morning. Have you heard about all this? People are freaking out about this.
The video description stated that the clown had a knife on him as well. I am so done with these creepy clowns. This video is short yet creepy. Dashcam footage captures a driver driving in the middle of the night before seeing a mysterious figure on the side of the road, dressed in all white. I don't know about you guys, but a man walking on the empty road near a forest in the middle of the night is unusual, which begs the question, was he human or a ghost? A lot of bank robbers either don't wear a mask or they wear a mask that barely hides their face. This man seems to be well aware of that as he wrapped his head and hands in bandages, looking like a mummy. Although he was photographed in multiple angles, there wasn't an inch of skin for the police to scrutinize. He's wanted by the FBI, but it looks like this man ain't getting caught. A YouTuber named Aldo's World takes an Elmo doll to an alleged haunted playground at 3 a.m. to see what would happen. Elmo is apparently supposed to move around this hour. Aldo and his friends stated that they thought nothing would happen. They walked away for a minute and claimed the Elmo doll moved on its own and that its face looked slightly different. They look away once more and suddenly Elmo is face down.
Wasn't he on his stomach?
What's going on? Yo, he was what's going on?
They would make their case a lot better if they didn't keep taking the camera off the Elmo constantly. However, the doll did laugh on its own, making me think it could be real. Have you ever felt like something wasn't in your control? The man in this elevator felt this firsthand. In spite of the desperate attempts, the elevator acts on its own accord. He began mashing the buttons, but that didn't work as the elevator was moving frighteningly. The camera cut as the elevator hit the ceiling or the ground. Luckily, the man got out alive. He was hurt, however, and is probably going to start taking the stairs. CCTV footage captures a man in a hoodie wielding a hammer and going through this bedroom looking for valuables. Luckily, nothing was taken and no one in the house woke up, or it could have gotten ugly. CCTV captures this heroic dog as it scares off this snake creeping up on its owner. This footage was taken in New Jersey, and it shows a man creeping around this home while a mother and her 2 daughters were asleep. The house was 3 stories, and the mother began hearing strange noises coming from downstairs. Understandably concerned, she checked the home security footage and was met with this horrifying sight. Upon seeing this, she barricaded herself along with her 2 daughters in the bathroom and called the police. However, the police took a while to respond, and they waited, hoping he wouldn't come upstairs. Luckily, he never did. He did leave with a few valuables, however. I'm just glad the mother and daughters weren't harmed. This next clip shows a McDonald's on fire in the middle of the night. No matter which angle the camera was, the fire was raging. Firefighters arrived and the fire was too much, as all they could do was hope to contain the fire. After a while, the building is seemingly melting and the iconic M is broken. Just look as these flames rage through the building. The fire was caused by an arsonist around 4 a.m., and it was a real challenge for these firefighters. I can't imagine what this particular McDonald's did to set off a customer like this. Years ago, a scary video surfaced about a creepy doll that was allegedly found in Mexico, and its eyes followed the viewer's eyes as they moved. The video turned out to be a hoax, but the doll couldn't be more real. It was created by Oklahoma artist Julia Lane. Julia had a knack for making dolls whose eyes can follow your own wherever they move. Here are some creepy videos and images of the doll. Of 2022, a tornado hit China that sent debris flying everywhere. Anything that wasn't bolted down was coming off the ground. The second and third tornadoes were strong enough to obliterate 2 different roofs, ripping the material to shreds. The aftermath shows a warehouse in shambles with twisted metal beams and a caved roof. tornadoes can cause some serious damage. This short clip shows a man walking in the middle of the street and the cars phasing through him. Someone explain this, please. CCTV footage shows Steve Kocher parking his car and exiting the vehicle. This would be the last anyone ever saw of him. Steve lived in St. George, Utah at the time of his abrupt disappearance. He was reported missing a few days later when he stopped coming to work and church activities. Police found that Steve traveled over 1,000 miles between Utah and Nevada in just the past week. There's no info on where Steve may have gone and why. It is believed Steve had an affair and ran off with a woman, but who knows? A woman and friends were driving down a dark wooded street and believed they saw something. As if that wasn't scary enough, they heard a yell in the distance, but they were not going to take their chances by investigating it.
Oh my God, no, fuck that.
There's no further context. That was enough to send them on their way, and that's that. In this video, a zookeeper was playing with a group of tigers, lions, and leopards before the unthinkable happened. The animals were having a fun time cuddling and receiving rubs from the zookeeper, as a leopard in the back can be seen creeping on the zookeeper. The leopard was moving in for an attack before the tigers scared it off. The zookeeper is a badass for how he disciplines the leopard after and wasn't even scared. Employees came to work before discovering their workplace had been broken into. When they looked at the security footage, they saw a man break in using a piece of plywood. He checked the cash register, but it was empty. There was money in the tip jar, but he didn't take it. All the man left was some car keys, and oddly enough, he didn't steal the car they belonged to. The man went through a lot of trouble breaking in for nothing. Home surveillance footage captures an arsonist pouring gas from a water bottle onto an SUV in a California driveway. He lit the SUV on fire before fleeing the scene. Police are searching for the suspect and are offering a $10,000 reward. It's truly disturbing how serial killers think that it's normal when they talk about their murder experiences. CCTV footage shows Neil Maxwell and Luke Pearson as they talk about the murder of Lee Cooper. It's insane how they talk so nonchalantly, like they're talking about the weather. This black bear wasn't invited to the barbecue, I'm pretty sure. I don't think any food is worth confronting a bear. However, Josh here doesn't see it that way. He's antagonizing the bear, tossing his drink onto the bear in hopes it will get away from the grill.
Go! Listen, if it comes running, Josh, get up
Go!
here.
Getting up here.
Let the food burn.
Go!
Run! Call the police. Come on, Dad.
Go!
Dad, come on. He can jump over there, guys.
Woo! Yeah.
Josh. Josh.
Get out of there. Oh.
quit.
Oh.
No! Josh, get away!
Dad, get away!
Josh, get! Let him have it! Get, Josh! Get! Josh!
No!
Josh, quit! Let him have it!
Let him have it!
Move, this ain't funny. Move, Jacob.
The video cuts off, but I guess the bear got the food. That could have gone a lot worse for Josh. Ring footage captures a little girl who saved the day by noticing the air fryer caught fire. She then ran off to warn her father. Her father, Daniel, couldn't find the fire extinguisher, and it was time for Plan B. Daniel picked up the air fryer, burnt his feet in the process, and tossed his stove out the window into the pool.
She said, Daddy, you gotta come see this. And she's doing this with her hands.
Watch out! Watch out!
I was trying not to hit the dogs, and there was plastic dripping.
He burnt his feet.
I burnt my feet.
Amelia is now being called their little superhero. This video shows a great example of why you shouldn't jump into the sea, picking fights with those that live there. The man in this video had an encounter with a shark that you have to see to believe. Luckily, he swam and got away. Maybe he learned his lesson by jumping into the sea like that. That is not your territory. Anyone that's been to Disney World knows the Indiana Jones show is one of the most popular shows at the venue. This show gives a perspective of what the stunts look like as they're performed live, including the stunts where Jones runs away from a rolling ball, just like the movie. However, the stunt takes an ugly turn, literally. The ball rolled and turned the wrong way and rolled into the audience. Luckily, no one was hurt. That ball weighs over 400 pounds though, so that could have been tragic. After several murders involved homeless people in the Las Vegas area, CCTV captured footage of a police sting operation attempting to catch the killer. They set up a mannequin under a blanket so it would appear that somebody was sleeping there. Shane Schindler didn't hesitate to tee off on the mannequin. As Schindler attempted to evade the scene, police officers surrounded and arrested him. Very clever. Stay tuned for our #1 pick that will shock you. CCTV footage captures a man taking a walk on a sunny day before receiving the shock of a lifetime. Watch this. A gigantic pane of glass came down and narrowly missed him. He lost his scarf, but he is extremely lucky. That could have gone a lot worse. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.